Hello, everybody. What's going on? Yours truly here, Papa Goat. This is Wine and Whiskey Wednesday. I hope you're really chilling and lay back and drinking your wine. Or if you're driving from work, you listen to this. Don't be drinking wine. But anyway, today is very, very special to me. Why is it special to me? Is because this is the first time we have actually four people doing the show. So you see on your screen right now, you're looking at Vanessa, you're looking at Khalil, and you're looking at Julia. So before we actually start the show, as always, the show will start right after this. Awesome, awesome. So welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. So today, like I said, it's gonna be very, very special. As you can see, the title for today. Oh my God, it's gonna be very interesting conversation. So as you can read it right under your screen, it's gonna be about relationships today. Now, the subject, as you can see on your screen right now, before we get to it, I'm going to let the speakers actually introduce themselves. Once again, guys, thank you for being here in this beautiful Wednesday. So we're gonna start with Vanessa. Vanessa, please introduce yourself for a few seconds so the viewer can know who you are.
Hi everyone. My name's Vanessa Pochat. I'm 30 years old now. A registered nurse in Florida. Mom, wife.
Alright.
What else?
What else? Well, I guess they'll get to know a little bit more as you're going to be elaborating on this subject. Now, of
Yeah.
course, the next person I want to introduce themselves is Julia. I met Julia through just really chatting onto Facebook. Now, before I get to Julia, how I know Vanessa, we actually go way back, like to school, high school. You know, she's doing great. She's a nurse. I have a lot of respect for her. As for Julia, I met Julia through Facebook, and she has a great follower. She's a paralegal, and I love what she speaks about. But another time, we're gonna bring her in to actually speak only business. But today, we're just gonna be talking about relationship today, and I have a side story to tell you about that after she introduced herself. Go ahead, Julia.
Hello, everybody. Just like Jim said, I'm a paralegal. West from Florida, and we're here to talk about relationship.
Awesome, awesome. I think you kind of cut off, but I think it was the signal, but it's fine. I heard what you said. So the next person I'm going to introduce, of course, we have to let the ladies go first, Khalil, because if somebody's watching the screen right now, the only reason we're good looking is because the ladies are also on the screen. So now, Khalil, please go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? My name's Calardis. I'm 27. So I was 26 for a second. I'm 27 years old. Currently living in Atlanta, Georgia, Smyrna area. Um, I'm a graphic designer. Currently, made as a senior graphic designer in Greenwood, and yeah, just happy to be here.
Haha, awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so let me have a disclaimer onto this. Nobody that you're looking at on your screen are shy. None of them are shy. But today we're gonna get some people. I mean, I hope people don't get in trouble with their relationship. So guys, take time to say sorry to your boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse if this conversation get a little bit very juicy. But there is a reason I have this show. Now I'm gonna be very honest with you. So after I had one of the show, Julia actually reached out to me and she said, you know what? This is a subject I truly believe more people should have been there because I would have said something different. I'm like, this is interesting. So this is the beautiful thing about when you have your own thing. I don't have a boss to tell me what to do. I say, okay, you know what? Let's go ahead and have a show. So everybody, just make sure you show some love to Julia. Give me some thumbs up if you can hear us. Now, the subject we'll be talking about, as you guys can see on your screen, which is very interesting. The first one we're gonna be talking about is today's dating. Is more about. It's not really for love anymore. Is it about more of hey, let's share the bills type of love. Let's get together and share the bills. The second thing we're gonna be talking about when it comes to a relationship, who asks for more? Is it the guys or is it the ladies that ask for too much? I don't know. The fourth one, I was actually telling the guys behind the scene, and I'm sure my wife is watching this by now, maybe. I did not tell my wife I was going to have that subject, and the last one, she may pull my ear for it. So, should marriage be a contract for a certain amount of years with a renewing clause on there? So that's very. That's what we're gonna be discussing today. So, as we are going to discuss, and I want you guys to actually, be open on everything, and have a really comfortable conversation, because this is one thing I really realize in the youth that's being raised. I'm 33 years old. I have a successful marriage. I think this is my 8 years of marriage, right, babe? Going on 9 years. Look at Julia. Julia, like, oh, you better don't. But I'm actually having more conversation with the single individual or the young individual. It's like dating has a whole different definition nowadays. So I decided to have this show. Now we're gonna start with Julia. So Julia, we're gonna start with the first um, title. Is dating today for love, or do you feel like it's more for like an investment? And tell us a little bit why. We'd love to hear.
I'm in the hot seat, right? Since I
Yes.
since opinion, right? Okay. Well, based on my view, uh, is dating is for love or just shut the bills? Based on what I see nowadays, it's both. Some people is not looking for love; they just need somebody to shut the bills with, and it shouldn't be that way. So if I'm taking for myself, no, dating nowadays is for love. Um, because when you date, when you start a relationship for love, it will last longer. But the moment if I put my mind, I just need a partner to help me pay the bills. The moment he or she can't, or if the guy I'm with cannot pay the bills anymore, I'm gonna tell him to get out and I'm gonna have somebody else to do it. But if it's for love, hey, you may not have the money now or you lost your job. That will not be an issue. We will still try to, make it, make it through. So to me, I feel like we that are single shouldn't focus on find someone to help you pay bills. Yes, this is important. You need money. We as women we love money. Okay, even though we are making our own money, like we still need the guy money as well. But that shouldn't be the priority because this will not make the relationship goes any further. So that's how I see it in my opinion, kid. Because if you focus more on the money, you're gonna miss out true love. Because I believe in that still. I believe there is true love out there. It's not easy, but there is. So you're gonna miss the person that will make you happy for the rest of your
That's a really good way to put it. That's a great way to put it. Vanessa, I'd like to hear your input on that. And I saw Khalil. I want you to talk on that as well after Vanessa. But Vanessa, talk to
Mhm.
us, man. Let me hear your input on that.
I would also agree with Julia. I think it's both. Of course, yes, you do want love, but can you also be with a partner that doesn't is not able to provide for you as well? Uh, I feel like I said, I think it's both love and it's like a partnership, and you would say, um, yeah, I would say it's both. But the new generation now, I think they're focusing more on a partnership. Can you pay my bills? Can you give me this? Can you do that for me?
Okay, okay. All right, that makes sense. You kind of cut off a little bit at the end, but I think I pick up what you
Yeah.
said. Khalil, talk to us, man. What do you think? As a guy, tell me what you think about this whole thing, man. By the way, how old are you again?
27.
You're 27. Okay, I think you're probably the youngest amongst us all. So we'd love to hear what you think, brother.
I feel like honestly, just from what I see, is definitely I can piggyback and say it's definitely both. As far as my personal opinion, I definitely think you should be dating for love. Um, I know a lot of people don't do that; they have ulterior motives in terms of I need bills paid or whatever. But I feel like the real question that should be asked is, well, why are you dating for money and getting bills paid? Why can't you do that yourself? Like, what's stopping you from being able to provide for yourself to the point you need somebody else to support you? So it's like I don't necessarily understand that premise of why people are doing it, but I get it. But yeah, that's just my opinion on it.
Well, let me ask you, you two ladies, whoever wanna go first, that's fine. Like, would you say, let's just say you find a guy you really like and you like him for love, but this guy is not a worker. He's not working and he doesn't want to go to work. Would you still move on with that relationship?
Well, you said if he doesn't go to work,
Yes,
so that's mean he just need a lady to take care of him.
I
To
guess
me,
so.
I would tell him that's mean you want a woman to take the pants, and you don't even need this. You don't even want the skirt at all because if women we work, so what do you want to do? But if you're not working right now and you have a gold mine, hey, we can see what we can do. Maybe you don't have money now, but you have a gold mine. That we're going somewhere. But if you just said no, man, I just want to relax and have a lady take care of me, that's a problem.
But hey, we're talking about love here. We're talking about love. If we're gonna get married for love, then what if the lady can actually take care of everything? Like, should the guy still work?
And Vanessa, you said because I don't
Vanessa.
know.
Listen, I'm sorry. If I'm bringing something to the table, you should be able to bring something to the table as well. I'm not gonna be working these 12-hour shifts for you to be sitting on your butt all day. What are you bringing to the table?
Okay.
Are you a stay-at-home dad? That's a different story,
Yeah.
But what's your goal? Are you gonna be a stay-at-home dad forever? Are you just not working right now? But what's your goal?
Do you have a
Okay.
disability?
So let's just say there's no goals. We just fell in love.
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. That's a deal breaker.
What if it's the other way around? Do you think it would be fair?
No. You gotta have, like I said, you have to have both love and you gotta be able to provide in the
Well,
relationship.
like you said, if but the other way around, we as the ladies sometimes not because we do not want to go to work. Sometimes the guy we always said no, you stay home, mother, and take care of the kids.
Right.
And if your husband that's what he wants, not a problem. Or if we're talking about years ago, when my mom and my dad were dating, and that's how it is back in the days, women stay home doing nothing, doing a lot of housework. But now, if you're a guy, why you don't want to go to work? Like that's adding to your pride as a man to take care of your woman. If you're not taking care of her, somebody else will. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Vanessa, you kind of said that exactly really fast. I'm like, I don't understand. Khalil, what do you have to say on that, Khalil? Talk to me, man.
I don't know how to say. I mean, I don't want to work, so I mean, look, that's fine. But I feel like kind of my perspective is a little different because I most definitely do not want to work like at all. But I don't know. I feel like I'll have something in place by whenever that time comes. So it's like I don't have to work because everything else is automated, and it's just me not lifting, doing the heavy lifting. I have other means to kind of get the work
But
done.
money's still coming in though, right? Like on your way not to. Okay, so
Of
I'm just
course.
saying, like in a way that let's just say, it's a man. The man don't want to work. Should the
Mhm.
ladies and the lady have a great career? Should hey, it's for love. Should she just
I
pay the
mean,
bills or like what do you think?
like I said, this is my personal opinion, but I mean, I see it out there. I mean, women do it all the time. So it's like, what's really the difference here? Like I said, I
You
mean,
do
if
have
for
a
love,
point.
I mean, y'all cool with it. Why not?
Okay, so the reason I ask this question because there's a standard out there that it's okay for guys to do that. A lot of time when you look at society, if a guy is doing this, taking care of the woman, like taking care of the household, it's cool. The women don't have to work, and sometimes the women really choose not to work. It's not all the time the husband say, "Hey, you don't have to work." Sometimes the women choose not to work, but in the status quo, that looks okay. That makes
Mm.
sense. So that's what I'm referring to when I ask this question. But I do understand where Julia is coming from when she said that, and I do understand where Vanessa is coming from as well. But I still think there's like kind of like a double standard here, if you ask me.
Most definitely, it's a double standard. Like that's a fact.
Can I
That's
say something to that though,
please,
James?
yes.
I see where you're saying the double standard, but I feel like if a woman's choosing not to work, she's still providing elsewhere, like in the household. Is the man contributing in the household as well if he's not
Yeah.
working?
I'm cleaning. Hey, listen, I'm washing your underwears. Listen, I'm doing
Well,
laundry. I'm dusting everything. Is that
So
okay
you're
now?
contributing in that way. You're just not contributing financially.
Correct.
Oh,
Well, at
okay.
that point,
but
I
yeah,
have a question. I guess with that, it's like at
yeah.
that point, it's like if that's the case, um, well, at that point, like, what is it, man or woman, either or, in that particular scenario right there, that's what I'm referring to. What is that person doing then? It seems like they're not adding any type of value to the relationship. If they're literally at the bare minimum doing what the other person who is already providing everything and doing that is doing, so it's like, where do you really come in here?
Well, I mean, if let's just say my wife right now, say she's working and I'm at the house. I
Mhm.
would still feel like I'm adding value because when she come home, maybe there's a hot meal for her, or the house is clean. So if I
Mhm.
decide to play the role of a woman, well, based on what society said, would it still be okay? What do you think, Julia?
If they two agree to it, let them be. Hey, oh,
I agree.
who I'm judge? If the wife have no problem for her husband to stay home do the housework, okay. But in my view, or what we expected from a guy, it's just to me, you a man at the end of the day. You the head of the family. Why you wanna stay home and doing the housework? Like, but if the lady accept, okay, um, go ahead.
But
Marry
but you
me.
you wouldn't accept.
No, because I will tell you, you are the head of the family. Even though I'm making more money than you, I will still that you are the head. I don't mind if you bringing $1 and I'm bringing, oh my God knows how much, but I still want you to contribute. Like I want you to have that respect of the how the husband.
Okay.
To me,
Which
I feel like without financially, the men should feel some type of way if you
hmm.
cannot support your woman, your family financially. You should feel bad somehow. My view.
Okay, so would you still say, even though women are fighting for equality and we want to be equal to men, we're talking about to the society, would that still stay? Because it looks like the women want to take more power, and but they still want to actually play the woman's role when it comes to certain things.
In my opinion, when it's come to the house, there is a husband, there's a wife.
I
That's how
got
I
you.
see. I'm not in the social world right now. I'm not at work. I'm in my house. I'm not the doctor. I'm not the attorney. I'm not the nurse. I'm not the paralegal. I'm the wife. And husband, I'm here to stay next to you. Let's make it work. So it's not equal here, you or my husband, and do your part. And I'm here to support and push you forward.
Got you. Fair enough. Vanessa, you look like you was about to say something.
No, no, I agree with her. To be honest.
It's like woman power over here, man.
It
So we're gonna look at some of the comments. As Khalil, what do you think on the subject? Answering to what the lady says.
I mean, I kind of feel like I'm in agreement. I mean, if the two people feel like that's what they want to do, I'm all for minding my business, letting people do what they do. So that's fine. Yeah,
But would
I
you be
agree.
okay with it though? Like you play that role, and as the lady take care of the household.
I mean, just me, and as far as like what I want to do in my life, I mean, probably not because I have my own goals set, and I'm not gonna be able to accomplish those goals if I'm just sitting around. But like I said, if somebody wants to do that, then yeah.
Okay, well, fair enough, man. Fair enough. Let me read some comment here. I see Asnid said only if the mama's boy is sick. So she would take care of the mama's boy only if she's sick. Other than that, if I'm getting what you're saying, Asnid, you're like, nope, just get out. I don't want nothing to do with it. Okay. And she keeps saying no, no, no. Oh my God. Okay. And Ruthie, which is my wifey, let me see what my wife has to say about this. Now, if you're a stay-at-home mom slash dad, you are pulling your weight. But if you're not doing nothing but playing video games, absolutely no. I think that's That's okay. Um, let's see here. It's not a question for them, for the men to pay the bills. It's just a question to get together on everything. Your money is my money. Your money, my money is yours. It's love. Oh, well, this is actually coming from my father-in-law who put that comment under there. And this guy, I think he's heading on 40 years of marriage. So I think he knows what he's talking about, right? So thank you, Papito, for that. I, I appreciate that. Um, Okay, okay. He's not playing. Okay. Hey, put your comment below. Share this live. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. And if you're watching this, of course, we're on Facebook Live right now. But make sure you share this as well so people can participate. Because if we don't be careful bringing those conversation into light, I feel like the next generation is really going to be suffer in some aspect. So now, okay, let's go to the next subject. We actually spent a good 20 minutes on this one. I think it's pretty cool. Now, the next one, it's really simple, and I know where I stand on this. And I would hope you guys really elaborate on that, just like you did earlier. Are guys asking for too much when it comes to a relationship, or is it the ladies that's asking for a little bit too much? So I'm gonna start with Khalil. Let's start with you, man.
All right. I really
What do you
don't feel
think?
like it's either or. I feel like it's all comes down to perspective. Like, I mean, I feel like that's really a subjective question in terms of, some people might think somebody is asking a lot, and that same person could turn around and ask somebody else, and they could say, "Nah." I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So I feel like it really depends on who you ask. But I do feel like there are situations where either or, man or woman, they can come off as asking for too much. Like, everybody has to do everything. Somebody has to do everything, and you just really just do nothing. That would be a scenario of, okay, you're asking for too much. Like, you literally don't do anything. But then again, I also don't feel like that's even a relationship. That's just somebody that's telling you what to do and they do nothing. So that's kind of my thoughts on it, my perspective.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Now, when it comes to what you said, I respect it, but let's elaborate a little bit on too much. Now,
Mm.
since we have two ladies here, let's go with Julia, right? So, Julia, help us a little bit. What are women looking for? Like, clarify it for us.
What I'm looking for, or what women are looking for?
Well, I guess both. But I would say, like, I don't want to too generalize this. But if you have to say most women, what is it they're really looking for in a man in a relationship? What would you say?
Wow.
I'll put you in the hot seat again.
Exactly, because I talk to some. I don't understand the way they think at all. Um, well, what I can say, a lot of women, they said, you better get yourself ready, because I'm not here to babysitting no man. You need to have this, you need to have that. But yet, when I look at them, they have nothing. And I was like, why are you asking so much for the guy, but you little have zero? So I think women, in my view, because I'm gonna talk like that as me, you should ask for love, because I believe where there is love, everything will come afterwards. You wanna treat nicely, respect, trust, loyalty, and all the above. If there is love, all those things will come. So it's not about, hey, I want you to have this, I want you to have that. Maybe he doesn't have the specific thing you want, but he has something that is more value. Maybe he, bring maybe he's not good at talking or give you flowers, but he's a family guy. So at the end of the day, are you able to balance what he has with what you want? Maybe all of my wants is completely not enough to keep a relationship or keep a marriage. But what he's about to offer is able to grow in a relationship and lead it to marriage. So me personally, what I do before I said what I want to know what you have to offer. Because it just like if you go look for a job, you said I want you to pay me, $30 an hour, and the job was 50 an hour. So you just cause you you missed $20 more. So I'm not a lady that quick to bring my opinion is what I want, but what do you have? Now I'm gonna balance it. Is it go with what I really want, or if it's not good at all, that's when I can bring my opinion. So that's what I told a lot of ladies before you already tell the guy, hey, I want this, I want that, without even giving him a chance to tell you what he has to offer. You maybe you will too hyper in that sense.
Okay, but when okay, that I understand. Let me let Vanessa talk now. Vanessa, like I want to hear what you have to say on that one.
So what us women want in a relationship? That's the
Like
question,
what?
right?
Yeah, what do you think most ladies are looking for in a relationship? You can, say,
Um,
list them.
I want to piggyback off what Julia said. I would say, of course, love, respect, loyalty, a provider. I feel like a man should be able to provide, but I feel like a lot of times the younger generation says, "Okay, what can you provide for me?" But they're not seeing what they're bringing to the table as well. You're asking a man to bring X, Y, and Z, but what are you bringing to the table? You're asking him to pay for this, pay for that, but what are you bringing to the table?
Mm. Okay.
So I think that's kind of like the basic love, respect, loyalty, a provider. I
Okay.
would say that would be the main thing.
Main thing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And if any lady that's watching this, comment so I can know if there is more to that list, because I would love to hear that list. So Khalil, talk to us, man. What do you think ladies are really looking for from us? Do you think what the ladies are saying it's 100% accurate, or you think there is more to it?
Uh, I feel like for the most part, I mean, if we're talking in a general sense, I mean, I would agree. I mean, I can't necessarily pinpoint, put my finger on what's the main thing women ask for because I mean, depending on the woman, it changes so much. I really don't know, but uh, I don't know. I feel as though, as far as the whole idea of just like people just having a certain amount, somebody bringing something to the table, I feel like when it comes to a situation like that, it's very telling in the type of people that you attract. So it's like if you're attracting a whole bunch of people who consistently don't bring anything to the table, it's like what does that say about you in a sense? Because I do feel like there's a lot of people who can speak to that and probably say I've never had that issue. I don't know what it's like to be with someone who's asking for too much or doesn't bring anything to the table because they never experienced it. And also vice versa, when women or men who be like, I'm always running into people who bring nothing to the table. So it's like I feel like in that case you kind of got to look inward. Like, what am I doing to keep attracting these people who don't bring anything to the table, and vice versa.
Yeah. So we have the youngest guy that's really dropping some knowledge on us, some wisdom, which I like your answer. Julia, you was gonna say something.
I would say probably most women looking for protection. If you're with a guy, we want to feel protected, like we feel secure. You can have love and money, but yet if your woman feel insecure when you're around, that would be, um, to me, a problem. Because it's good when you make your women feel like, yes, I'm here to protect you, and that's bring a lot of, you know excitement in the relationship, because you're with a guy that here for you no matter what, and he's here to, willing to jump into either, conversation, or lift you up when you're about to feel down or you scared, and hey, with this man next to you, fear, no matter what you fear of, he can help you go through it. So protection play a big role in a relationship.
Hmm. So the sense of security not only come with like in a monetary way, but
uh,
how you make this young lady feel. That I'm getting for
exactly,
you.
exactly, because
Interesting.
that's why it's good to understand affection, and, don't miss that part with the way you protect her. You give her affection, but what about attention? There's affection, there's attention. So sometimes we take one for both, and it's not. So we need the security come with attention. Yes, I will say affection from you, but not attention. because I feel like I'm not secure. I want you, and that can cause a lot of trouble.
Mm. And as you speaking on that, I remember there's this book called The Five Love Languages. I don't know if you guys read about it or heard about it. I highly recommend it. My wife and I, she was actually having me read it,
That's
and
a good
that's a
one.
good one, right? And I do feel like, and in some aspect, just to piggyback on what everybody says, I believe our community should really teach about the psychology of love, because a lot of people are what do they call it, lust, is it Lust? I'm Haitian, so
Mhm.
don't quote me, okay? I'm Haitian, but anyway, a lot of people have that, and they confuse it for it to be love. And as young people don't understand how their body change as they are getting older, and they let go of that emotion, or they let go of that physical attraction. I think a lot of times, especially in the new generation, is being interpreted as love, but really has nothing to do with love. It's more like of a good time, you enjoying your time with that individual. And then I feel like that actually bring negative uh, uh, a lot of negative things in the future, because what you thought was real is really not true. A lot of people are being raised, like right now, I'm 33. Somebody that's 40 years old or 45 years old is actually raising somebody who's 18 right now, 19, 20 years old. So when you look at, if that parent doesn't really do his or her job to actually educate the young child on that matter, then what's gonna happen is we're gonna find a lot of lust. I don't wanna mispronounce that word, but I'm Haitian once again. Lust. You're gonna find a lot of that. Um, and emotionally, our young people start being hurt. I'm fortunate enough to be raised in a two household. My mom, my dad, they married. My dad's a pastor, so I was fortunate enough to receive a great education from my parents. However, when I go close to different people, and they start to get to know me, and they see how my personality is, how I lead my marriage, and a lot of them are very surprised, because first and foremost, they never seen unity among brothers. Like when I meet my mom and dad and my two brothers, we can spend the whole day and everybody can kick rocks. Like we don't care about anything else. We just talking. And I bring this same friendship and love and affection to my marriage. My wife is my best friend. She's the person I talk to most. But I feel like now growing up, um, if somebody's been raised in single mother or single father, whichever it may be, and there is no true foundation to teach of those morals and principle, then emotions will just lead the youth, and then they eventually going to be hurt. So that's what I see in the whole spectrum, just to piggyback on on what you have now. To elaborate a little bit more, so there is something I saw on Facebook one day. It says what women want, and there is a huge book, like huge, and he says what men want is just like four things in one piece of paper. So to me, baby, don't be mad at me for this, and don't send me to sleep on the couch tonight. But to me, right, um women emotionally ask for so much. That's just my opinion. Now, not I'm not generalizing, say every woman, but most women ask for too much. In what way? So I have to give you affection, have to give you love, I have to spend time with you, I have to bring an income, I have to be a father for the kids, and I have to be all this. And it can be emotionally torn for the men, but as a man, I cannot show emotion. That's what society says. So if I was to show emotion as I'm tired, man, that's too much on my shoulder, then society can see me, oh, you are a weak man. That's your responsibility. So when I speak about those matters, and I'm glad I'm having the show with the four of you. When I speak about those matters, these are the things I'm actually thinking about, because guys are more logic on all we do. Women are more emotional. So when you mix emotional and logic, it just doesn't make sense, especially when you're living together. So I'm gonna give you a story real quick. When I first got married, I would say that was probably the first maybe 3 years was probably the toughest time of my marriage. Simply because I'm in this house with this woman. I love her to death, but she get on my nerves. I love you, baby. Don't send me to the cash tonight, but she got on my nerves, right? So you have, and I feel like to have an answer to what we're going through as guys, we have to be vulnerable sometimes to talk about the issue, and vice versa. I got on her nerves. So what happened is when two people live in a house and it's brand new, there is two different energy that trying to come as one. And that's why the Bible say, you married a woman and then you become one. So there's two energy that trying to become one, and there's a lot of conflicting matter when it comes to that adaptation. So here you are, you never, as a young woman, the only person you see it as an example is perhaps your parents has been in an abusive relationship. So all of a sudden you have no trust for me as a man, even though I'm different. Or as a woman, you was raised only by a single mother, and you have no idea how to deal with a man, and you have a bad mindset about man. So that put me that I have to deal with the baggage as a man in a very, very deep emotional state. So why I'm talking about this, it's simply because I feel like and I believe like these are things that really hurting our marriage and our relationships, and we're not even aware of the paradigm shift that needs to be done when it comes to dating. Okay, so that's my input on that. But Julia, I saw you was about to say something. Go ahead.
Based on everything just, I think it's our culture. I, they try to make men feel like you cannot. So I'm talking about myself. I really against. I have blood. You got blood too. It's like I can feel pain. Feel, if a man show me emotion or feel like what doesn't a man, and that's the reason why health wise is vanilla medical field. How many how much black men are suffering out there because they us to let the black men know you have to stay a man, like everything inside, even hurting to death. You just no showing emotion is not that doesn't mean that well. And I try to let go as much as I
Julia, I think is your speaker connect to your car because we hear some
no
feedback as you talk. Yeah.
no it's not
Yeah, okay. There was some feedback as you was talking, but continue.
okay. Yeah, I'm trying to tell if not if you're a man showing emotion, don't say that he's not a man. Don't tell a man to let you know when he's tired and in support. When you're next to your husband or your boyfriend, your fiance, try to lift him up. Don't put him down. You're not a man enough. So that little thing already affected you. You already stressed about it. It's stressful. It's okay for him to tired, for him to cry because he has blood just like you do. So if a man do that, like the black community, that's what I'm seeing right now. We don't really want our men to show emotion at all, and that's why they have a lot in their shoulder. But based me talking with other culture, if they're not black, it's kind of different a lot. Men will when they weak, they let you know I'm weak right now. I need your support. You have to support me emotionally too. So the husband cannot be the only one to show support for the wife emotionally. We need to start doing it as well. The ladies need to start doing it. And sometimes if you ask your husband how you doing, no, not how you doing. I want to know you personally. How are you doing? Start doing that, and you will see how much he will feel about it. Because just like we need a man to listen to us, men want somebody to listen to them too. That's the reason why they have a lot of guy friends. I'm going to my homeboys. But if you could be their best friend, not only you that need a best friend, your husband, your boyfriend need a best friend too. Be that friend for him. Listen to him. Don't say he talks too much. He needs somebody to listen to him as well. And that doesn't mean he's weak, in my view.
I love it. I mean, that's well said. Khalil, what do you have to say on that?
Nah, I agree. I feel like we kind of get into a space where we don't believe that men need some of those same things that we just innately give to women. Like for example, to someone to listen to you talk, talk to your problems, talk to things you got going on. I mean, especially as far as black men, at least I can say. I mean, I feel like that's something that is just not even a thing for us. It's like you don't talk about your emotions, you don't talk about your problems, you just kind of just deal with it, in silence and let that go. So I feel like that's definitely needed, especially in relationships. Like that's same effort that's kind of going to women as far as like I'm willing to be that listening ear to you should be reciprocated for the men as well, because similar to what Julie was saying, like men need that too, and they would like it as well. So
I agree. And I want to hear Vanessa. What do you have to say on that, man? What do you have to say on that, Nessa? Let me unmute you real quick. Go ahead.
I definitely agree with both. I feel like some men are raised to not show emotion, and men's not supposed to cry, and men's not supposed to tell you how he feels. So that's why I feel like that list that you saw on Facebook was so short, because they're not going to say, oh, I need some emotional affection, or I need this. We live in a society that, men are not supposed to cry. They're not supposed to say they're tired. They're not supposed to say they're sick. Um, but it also depends on how they were raised as well.
True.
But I feel like, if your spouse is able to be vulnerable with you, they can be your best friend, and they'll be able to come to you and talk to you and say, hey, this is how I feel. This is what I need from you, versus of holding on to everything and not saying anything about it.
Interesting. I'm happy you put it like that, and I think we are all in agreement. And one thing I saw, and as a man, I can say it's true. I can speak for all men. There's three main things men are looking for in a woman, ladies. So take notes if you're watching. Okay, there's three main things. I'm not saying there's more. I can add maybe two more, but I'm gonna give you three. So a man, what they're looking for from a woman, number one, I could say is respect. That's it. Number one is respect. That's what we're looking for. We don't want a woman that's like, hey, what were you doing with your homeboy? Hey, I don't like when you do this. Hey, no, 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 no. We hate that. We don't like a lot of talk in our head. We like quiet, but we want that respect from you. That's number one. Number two, a man need sex. Yes, a man needs sex. That's what a man wants. That's number two. Number three, food. If we get those three things, let me tell you, man, you have the best men in the world. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I don't think we ask for much. We don't want anything else. But Khalil, as a man, I want you to piggyback on that, so I don't feel too awkward in front of the ladies. You're like, oh, you guys want way much, way more.
I mean, I would say that's a solid three. A solid three. I mean, I'd say life is a lot easier if those three things are happening. I'm pretty sure there's other things that we could talk all day as far as other things that can kind of go on, but yeah, if we're using that as a barometer, I guess, then yeah, I mean, you got those three, you're headed in the right direction.
Okay. Now, Julia, do you think there's a little bit more we asked for?
So that's when if you have that three, there will be no cheating, right?
Well, pretty much 99.9% out of the time. That's why I'm not talking for all men. I'm saying most men.
Exactly. Okay. Well, thanks for letting me know. I'll take notes when it's my turn. I said, hey, I remember when I went to Papa Go, they said three things. I'm gonna write it down. Everyone in the house, respect, sex, food. Respect, food. I'm giving it to you. Make sure you stay loyal, all right?
Oh my God, Vanessa, do you think we have any more we asked for? Like, let us know, man. Let us know.
Any more? I don't know. Some men like affection. Some of my girlfriends will say, "Oh, my man said I don't show them affection," and I'm like, "Really? That's a first." Yeah, some men want you to show them affection. They don't like that hardcore, no love type of chick. Like some men want that.
You want to pass the hand in the head type of man. Okay, okay. Well, let me tell you, man. Just I'm a guy. I'm pretty open, very respectful of my relationship, and everybody know that Papa Goat is married and I happily married. One thing, just to piggyback on what Vanessa says, I like when my wife show me affection. I like when I come home, she said, "Baby, how was your day? Talk to me. What happened?" And I'm just sitting there. Sometimes we sit on the couch, or sometimes we sit in the bed, and she's just playing in my head. My wife is like, I don't think I'll ever divorce this lady. She takes so good care of me. Like I'm literally
All
off the
right.
market. I'm off the market. So well, until we the next subject we're gonna be talking about, I don't know. So we'll see. But anyway, I'm glad we elaborate on that. So the last but not least, what we're gonna be talking about. By the way, guys, great job. Thank you so much for really participating, because I really love these subjects. So let me go to the comment. Was there any comment that was say, okay, Sneed, I hope I'm not messing up your name. When she actually add to the list that woman wants communication, compassion, respect, support, she didn't just say sex, she said great sex. Oof, you know? Oh my God. I don't want to get too explicit, but we get the point, okay? We get the point. Because woman is you guys are full of emotion, and guys, sometimes we have to understand that it's not more like logic, or you do this, you do that. No, woman is extremely emotional, so we have to take time. Like I said, the first 3 years of my marriage was probably the hardest, and now I can say, like, man, I love my wife, I love my relationship, I love my kids, simply because we grow. A lot of time, the first 3 years, or this is the first 7 years are the hardest, but let's just say the first 3 years, because of the different energy in the household, you just end up in a divorce, or you end up separating because you don't want to, compromise any of the standards or whatever it may be. But my wife and I, we get in very deep conversation, because at the end of the day, I truly believe when you believe you are part of something that's bigger than you, things change. So I believe the marriage is bigger than my feeling and my emotion, and my wife feeling my emotion. So we really work on our marriage, and I can say we have a really, really good marriage. So thank you for actually elaborating on that, guys. Now, the last but not least, it's kind of weird coming from this transitioning to the next subject. Should marriage be with a contract for a few years with the option to renew? You look at your life insurance, right? Like, I'm a life insurance broker. So when you have a term insurance, you can actually, after 10 years, you say, you know what? I want to renew, or there is whole life insurance, where you're like, okay, once you're there, it's for the whole life. So I was reading something. I forgot where. It's been a couple years, where I forgot where that they was actually looking to legalize that aspect. Marriage should be between, the couple that decide together, get together, man, woman, and then it should be for 2 years. And if it don't work out, we both work out the relationship, no hard feelings. So now, being that the time has changed, my mom and dad is getting close to 40 years of marriage. I highly doubt that was even part of the conversation back in their days. But a lot of ladies and a lot of men, they're looking for a relationship like my mom and dad, but they change over time, but they still want the same thing. But anyway, let's talk. Khalil, talk to me, man. Do you think that? What do you think about that? When it comes to marriage, should it be like a regular contract where it's for a few years, and if you work out, hey baby, let's renew this thing, because I'm really feeling you. But if there is a lot of challenges where you see, man, this is not what I envision at all in my relationship, should you have a clause in that marriage, in the contract, to work out? What do you think? Oh, I think you muted. Let me unmute you. Sorry about it. Yeah, go ahead. What do you think?
I think man, it should be like sports contracts. I feel like that definitely would help. And in a lot of people's scenarios, I feel like the bigger thing here should be asking, like, why is that even a thing? I know you had mentioned that this is something that they're actually thinking of proposing, but yeah, I feel like in situations like this, if people like are really that unsure, I guess that should be a good option. But at the same time, it's like, well, I feel if you're doing that, it's like, why? It's like, I feel like you're going in a relationship already with the sense that it could potentially end. So it's like that already. I don't see how that can work out. But yeah, for me, I personally wouldn't do it, but I see a lot of people out here getting divorced. Divorce rates are higher. So in that aspect, I see why that's even a thing, and it's something that's even being talked about. So to help that aspect, yeah, but I don't think we talk about this if divorce isn't such a big issue or big topic right now. So I feel like it all comes in just from just the lay of the land, what's going on now. Like you talk about things when things are wrong. You don't talk about when it's going good.
Got you. Got you. I respect that. Julia, talk to us, Julia. Let me unmute you for a second. Okay, there you go. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Okay, if I'll just find out Chile, they have that. I was like, okay, interesting.
And Chile, they have that.
Yeah, in Chile they have it.
Okay.
You can 2 years, and then you said, you know what, I'm not gonna renew it. Based on what I heard or what I witnessed, I think if that option would be there. Hey, by the way, guys, I know have my some of my viewers are watching me. Yes, I'm a preacher, but I'm open minded. Okay, though those pastors don't say you're not gonna invite me to preach anymore.
Well, we're just thinking about logic. So I hope whoever's a preacher watching this, we're just talking about pure logic here, okay? But please go ahead, Julia.
um, for what is going on, sometimes contract will be very helpful. Um, or give us the option. You want 2 years, you want 5 years, or you want for life. So, based on how you feel, yes, sometimes before marriage you feel strong connection, but after a year or two, how do you feel? Like someone that knows immigration. That's what they do. If your marriage doesn't, if you do not have 2 years of marriage, they will give you a green card for 10 years. Now, if before they give you the green card, you already been with your husband or wife for 2 years, now you get the 10 year green card because they feel like 2 years. If you can stay for 2 years, there's a possibility it might last for a long period of time. So I feel like give you the option of 2 years or 3 years is good. You will still you're in a situation where you're like, do I really want to spend the rest of my life with that person, or do I want to stop? Because I don't see it nowhere in the Bible it says stay and die in the marriage. That's what people. Yes, I disagree. I don't like divorce, but the Bible didn't say stay and die at the same time. So if you feel like enough is enough, go ahead. After that 2 years, thank you so much. See you in the next world. But now, since where we live in, they don't give us that option. Yeah, yeah.
So are you saying America should consider this option, Julia? You think that?
That they should, in my opinion, they should because 2 years it's enough for you to realize, do I really want to spend my life or another 10 years with that person?
Hmm.
I don't know, it's because I'm not married yet that made me see it that way. That's another thing too. Because there was a time someone said, "Hey, if you're not married, there's things you won't understand." But this is a single lady. This is someone that never been married before that's saying that. So I don't know how marriage life will be, but I feel like give us that option would be very helpful.
Hmm. I like how you explain that. And by the way, any pastors that's watching, okay, we're not talking in a spiritual, realm. We're talking about just
And
pure logic. Yes. Okay. Vanessa, man, talk to us, Vanessa. What do you think? What do you think? Because I think this is pretty interesting. I'm so sorry. I think I'll meet you. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Yes.
I thought it would be like an easy out. If you're going into the marriage already with that contract and in mind, is like you're not 100% sure you want to be married to that person. It's almost like a prenup. Are you, why are you getting a prenup? Are you seeing that we're going to be divorced within the next 2 to 5 years? Like, I feel like it's a bad conscience on the marriage going in with that contract, saying, oh, if we're not good in 2 years, we can go about our way. And I feel like, divorce rate will go up even higher if you got that option. People are not going to be willing to work on it anymore. I'm like, oh, I got an option to divorce you in 2 years. Okay, cool, bye. They're not gonna want to work on it anymore. Our generations, they're so quick to just, I'm out. We're done. You don't see people being married anymore for 20 plus 20, 30 plus years anymore because they're so quick to give up.
True, true. But I actually thought about it the other way. I feel like if maybe you may be right, maybe you might be right. I
Hmm.
feel like if that was to be the option, let's just say me, I love my wife very much. So I feel like I'm in like month 11 and I'm slacking. I'm like, man, I don't want this lady to leave me. What I need to do to better myself? Because I'm in love, man. Baby, please, please don't leave me, type of stuff. So it's like, I feel like it's an opportunity to improve yourself as an individual. But I do see where you're coming from, though, because it kind of makes sense. Because like, I have it a way out. Just give it 3 more months. You'll be out my life, so
Right.
I'm good,
Count me
type of
out.
stuff.
Right.
Okay. Julia, let me unmute you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's mean if you can wait for that 2 years, that's mean even though it wasn't a contract, you will still divorce. So
If you
Yes.
that's
can wait,
mean
if you can
yeah,
wait for the 2 years, I mean, maybe they'll
yeah,
put like a penalty fee if you.
exactly. 3 more months. Oh man, I can't wait 3 more months. Whew, I'm tired already. So that's mean contract. You'll still like, you know what? Hey, sign the paper, please. Sign it. Like, come on now.
which is, I mean, listen, before I know I joke around and I say, hey, I hope my wife don't have me sleep on the couch today, which by the way, she never sent me to the couch. um but I actually spoke with her about that already when I heard that, but I don't know if Chile was actually doing that, or was it that country I read about. So here's my input on that. And Vanessa, you mentioned prenup. I actually, especially in this modern day, I actually don't mind the concept of prenup. I don't mind it. Why? There's a lot of women, and there are some men too, but you rarely see that. But there's a lot of women. They literally come in. They know the moment they sign that paper for marriage, I'm a millionaire, 50% belong to me. So I truly believe, I mean, at first, if you asked me before, when I was younger, and I had this conversation with my wife as well. But my wife and I, we have such a relationship where we're very open with one another. This is we just talk about all the hard subject. But I feel like a prenup is actually a good thing as I'm getting to marriage and as I'm seeing things start to change. Why? Because of what I just said. Women would just come in and I'm a multimillionaire. I marry you. I find out what you like. I like, XYZ. You become that woman, that I would want you to be for the first 3 6 months. We date. And then, a year and a half, 2 years later, I propose. And then, we get married a year later. And then, boom, you become your true self. And all of a sudden, oh, you better watch out, young man, because if you do this, half of this stuff is mine because we married. So I know you mentioned prenup. I feel like everybody should actually be taught about prenup before they get into a marriage, simply because, especially of today's age, because we're not talking about my mom and dad age anymore. We're talking about today's age. So
Yeah.
I believe when somebody go either to the courthouse or whatever process you go to get married, they should talk about prenup, because a lot of time we get married is just an emotional decision, and then once we get to the marriage, you're like, oh my god, whew, I don't want to deal with this, and then here you are as a man, it's already too late. Anybody want to piggyback on that before?
Um,
Uh, yeah, go ahead.
since you said something, man. But what I know, the one that I know, it's man that as soon he signed the paper and he told the lady, well, you will divorce me, fine. I already know this. He's already choosing what he wants. We have two houses, one for me, fine, divorce me, I don't care. I already know what I'm gonna get from you anyways. So he was taking life away from that lady. So finally she said enough is enough. He's like, I don't care. You divorce me, I'm gonna have half of everything. So I feel like the prenup should be 5 years. 5 years because some people are heartless out there. They're heartless. You're working so hard to build your life and they didn't even contribute to that. Now, since they signed a paper, now they want to take half of it. Like, seriously? Just why from the get go you didn't show me who you really are? You wait
Mm.
until marriage. That's what I told a lot of ladies. Why you act like you so innocent? Oh, I'm waiting to get married. You know, I'm the saint. I'm holier than the Holy Ghost. Like they are holier than the Holy Ghost. But the day they get married, hey man, come on. Now they are. Oh my God. So if you didn't show me your true self 2 years ago, why?
Oh, I think you mute yourself, Julia. Probably somebody trying to call her. But yeah, when she come back, she can actually continue to speak. Vanessa, talk to us. Prenup. You all for prenup? Is that what you said earlier?
I said, for the prenup, sometimes I feel like, yes, it is at your best interest. Sometimes you don't know who you're really marrying, but sometimes I feel like the prenup is like a bad, like juju to your marriage, kind of. But I could see why some people, that have worked hard, have lots of investment, have lots of money, they still want to protect their assets because at the end of the day, sometimes you don't really know who you're marrying. And I get that. But I just feel like the prenup is a bit kind of like a bad juju to your marriage,
Bad
kind of.
introduction. Okay, I like it. Khalil, what do you think of prenup? I'm sorry, let me unmute you. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah. I personally don't think that it's really a bad idea. I feel like it's just kind of understanding the context behind it and really just getting the other person. I mean, has built. Like for example, when someone comes in, say for example, I think you brought up the whole idea of a multimillionaire and someone who's not a multimillionaire. I feel like in that sense, it makes sense. Like, all right, if you weren't there for the earning portion of this becoming a multimillionaire, if you weren't there for those stages, like I mean, why would you be entitled to that? And not only just for men, but for women as well, because there's plenty of women that's already getting it, and men that technically aren't on their level, and women still date them, and women still marry them. So I feel like in that sense, you being that person who isn't a multimillionaire, you shouldn't feel any type of way of that person just wanting to, I guess, put like an insurance policy on something that they helped build. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you really don't know anybody's intentions. But I feel like it also becomes a point of just understanding just your own discernment. Like, do you feel like you're good at kind of gauging what those people are? Or you feel like you're attracting or only interacting with people who legitimately want you for you? And in that sense, I feel like there's really nothing wrong with that. I mean, like I said, people work hard for their stuff, and people want to be able to keep it, especially again from people who are wishing to take it just because they know they have it and they know they can kind of manipulate them to they get to the point where okay, yeah, I can run off with this person's bag. So I don't think it's an issue, but you know, I feel like also have your own discernment. People kind of understand what the situation is. Everybody's different, so
Fair enough. Fair enough. But like I said, I'm with you on that. I think it's a great concept, great idea, and I feel like he'll take the interest of money out of the marriage for both parties. But I see where Vanessa's coming from. It's like, okay, if you go into, if you're gonna say that, then that means you have something in your mind. Well, initially, we probably don't have that stuff in our mind. But the thing is, we don't know what the future brings. That's how I see it. Situation change. Sometimes people change. And I feel like just because you are uncertain about your future, like think about it. If you as a young lady, you're making half a million or $1 million a year, and then a young man come in, you guys get married, and he decide to be a bum through the marriage, and here you are, you get a divorce, you're going to lose half of your stuff. That wouldn't be fair. That would not be fair at all. So, I see where you guys are coming from on that subject. So I appreciate you sharing. So let me see if there's any comment on there. I see some people laughing. Let's see here. I think prenup should be looked. Oh, okay. That's my wife. I need to read this very carefully, right? She put in the comment below. I think prenup should be looked at depend on where you at in life. If he's been with you when you was broke and had nothing to show up for it, and okay, let me see. I kind of like especially supporting wives, supporting through the process of the marriage. Okay, so pretty much I'm feeling what she's saying is if we bring through hell and back together, listen, you was part of the process. We built whatever it was together. Hey, if you're gonna get married, I don't want no prenup, man. We did this together. So hey, what's up? But I think that's a good way to put it, babe. I really think this is a good way to put it. You never know who you're marrying. Jeff to say you never know who you're marrying. And just to piggyback on back from that comment, I remember my dad told me, here's how women are. And Khalil, listen to this. And I know you're in a relationship, but I'm just talking about in nature. I'm a married guy, you're a single guy. And by the way, I think we lose Julia. She probably had a bad connection and she fell off. So excuse us, our viewers. So it's the three of us now. But what my dad told me one day, he said, let me tell you how women are. Most women, as a man, if they really want to be with you, they will find out what you like, who you want them to be, which is what I just said earlier. And then after the marriage, then you'll find out who you really married after a while. Then that's when, marriage really start going into divorce. Now, I'm not saying a man don't contribute in the same way. However, like Jeff to say, you don't know who you're marrying. And sometimes even the person you're marrying don't even know themselves. So which puts you in a very vulnerable position getting in a lifetime commitment with somebody you hardly know. Even though you did for 3, 5, 6, 10 years, then you hardly know the person. So I see a lot of comment. I agree. It's all good about the beginning until the divorce. Oh, Jeff to say it's all good in the beginning until the divorce. Sound like he has some experience. I agree with. Okay. Okay, so guys, listen, share this live. We're actually wrapping up everything. We're going to the 3 subjects that we wanted to speak about. I want to hear your opinion. I want to hear the comment. Share this live with your friend. Comment what you think about this episode. If you want to see more, let us know. And also, if you want to be part of the show, just go ahead and send DM me, and I'll reach out to you if you want to be part of this conversation and part of these subjects matter. So with that being said, I always like to let my viewers go with a couple things, right? So, Vanessa, you've been in a long-term relationship. Why? Because I know and I'm nosy, right? But I'm just saying, right? But if anything you want to let the viewers go with, what would it be? What has been some, one of the great things you learn, living in your relationship? What would be that best thing you tell somebody that's watching this right now? One of the great things you learn in your relationship. If I would imagine.
Yeah. I would say just keep your relationship to yourself. Don't involve other people in your relationship. That's one of the best things I could say to you. If you're arguing, it's just y'all two arguing, not everybody else and their mama. That's what I would say, to be honest. You definitely get to know your partner once you do start living with them. I would say that for sure. But also just listen, compromise when you have to. That's what I would say. Will be the
Awesome.
best thing.
You know what my mama told me before I got married? One of the things she told me, she says, whatever you're going through with your wife, it's you and your wife. Don't put nobody on there. And that's one of the things my wife and I we mostly practice. Whatever's in between us, then is between us. Okay, so thank you, Vanessa, for sharing that with you. Khalil, talk to us, man. Tell us exactly what is one thing you learn on your relationship that you would actually advise people to, an advice for any viewers who's watching. One good thing you learn. Let me unmute you.
Say patience for real. Because a lot of things kind of don't materialize when it's materialized, or things may not happen how you plan it, but it's patient. Be able to get to learn that person, understand how they think and things that make them who they are. I feel like when you kind of have that understanding of that person, it's easier to cherish them more because you kind of get where they're coming from, and hopefully vice versa. So it is patient. I mean, it takes time. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day, but if you allow it to be built, then it's going to be beautiful. So
Patience. That is key. I like that. Julia, can you hear us? I know you just came back on. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you. Sorry,
Okay.
guys. I don't know what
Perfect,
happened.
perfect. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's technology. This is 21st century. We have to know these things can possibly happen. So, we're just wrapping up what we've been talking about, and pretty much the last thing I want you to say, in your relationship and your past relationship, what is one important lesson you learned you would like to, advise the viewers? One of the best thing you learned in your relationship.
If I had a better communication back then, I think I will not be single right now.
Mm.
I was not really good at communication, and I didn't understand. And again, I didn't know what love was. So it's good to do your own research. I know, since I'm a believer, so I'm gonna take that example. A lot of us who believe in Christ, like I do, don't think that we need to learn things outside church. So things that I know now, if I knew them back in the day 6 years ago, I think I would have spiced my relationship more. And if you're in church, if you're a pastor's wife, or if you a prayer warrior, or if you're just a believer, please, I'm asking you, go learn some stuff. Read certain things about relationship, because these people been there, they know certain things. That's why they write books. That's why they have videos about. So you can know how to treat your boyfriend, fiance, or your husband. And man, is good to read too, so you can know how to treat your woman. And just like you mentioned earlier, that book is good for everybody to read, or just take the test so you can know your partner better. What you like, maybe that's not what he likes. Maybe you think he's a touchy person, and he's not. He loves to bring gifts, and you, on the other hand, you don't like gifts. You like affection. And he keep on bringing you gifts and he's not spending time with you. So if you try to both know what each other likes, and your love language will be good. And again, communication is key. Men doesn't have a crystal ball, ladies, to know what we want. We need to talk. Let them know what we want, what we like. Don't assume you a man. You should know that. You should. How come you don't understand this? How come you don't think that I want this? No, they don't. Especially if they're in that nothing box when you're talking. So they won't know anything because they have that nothing box. And when they said nothing, actually nothing. All right. So ladies, men sometimes when they said nothing, they mean it. They know nothing. So please read more and do that research and spice your relationship. You're not too old, you're not too young to bring surprises. It's okay. Surprise your partner, and I guarantee you, it will last forever.
Man, that's like dropping the mic right there, Julia. I really like this. I really do. I had to learn how to communicate with my wife. That's why she's my best friend today. Now, I'm not, and I tell my wife that all the time, even though I know I'm in this for the rest of my life. That's what I want. I want to be married forever with this lady. However, I know people who divorce after 20, 30 years. I know pastors who divorce their spouse after. So I'm like, I'm not ignorant towards what can happen. That makes sense. So I'm glad you bring communication, because you can never over communicate when it comes to the ladies. So I know Julia sent a strong message to the ladies out there, but even guys, I've been with my wife, 8 years now, and we've been together, I believe, like 12 years, 11, 12 years. So we've known each other for a while. But one thing I find out, you can never over communicate. Never. Like my wife would, I would leave the house sometime and I'll forget to tell her where I go because I'm in sales. Like I just go to different people's houses and she'll call me, "Hey babe, where you at?" "Oh, I'm actually seeing a client. I'm putting up right now." Some guys would see that as, why is she trying to control me? That's not that. She just want to know where you are. Make sense? So when it comes to communication, I'm glad you said that, Julia. You can never over communicate. Now, thank you for sharing all these advice. Now, before I let you guys go, here's what I want to say. There are some believers who's watching this who's only basing this conversation on the Bible. I hope you heard what Julia said earlier. There's a lot of pastors, they only focus on the Bible, but they're not reading any different books to learn how to relate with the new generation that's coming in. When the five love languages is a great book, so an amazing book. So I would encourage people, this conversation, don't look at only in a spiritual level, but look at it in a logical, because our young generation right now is more logic for the guys and very emotional with lust for the ladies. So keep that in mind. So as for me, Julia already answered my question. I mean, that question I'd asked. If I had to let everybody know that one of the best thing I learned in my marriage with my relationship is the art of communication, and you can never over communicate. And if your wife or girlfriend call you, say where you at, hey, this is where I'm at. Now, before again, I remember Julia mentioned, so if you give the guys those three things, there is no cheating. No, I can guarantee that, Julia. I cannot. Okay, because some guys I've witnessed women take extremely amazing care of them, and they still go out and cheat. And vice versa as well. So with the guys, we can go into science and why with all the production of the sperm and everything, but I don't believe it give you an excuse to step out in your relationship and your marriage simply because of whatever's going on in a household. So strong conversation are very keys to my relationship. My wife used to hate some of the relationship I have. Why? Because women say, hey, I want you to be honest with me, but they cannot handle the honesty. Khalil, you probably know what I'm talking about as a guy, and ladies, you cannot handle the truth. So, hey, babe, does this dress make me look fat? Yeah. What? How could you? You asked me, Oh man, I can't believe it. You don't love me no more. No, it's not that, but it does make you look fat. And look, you want the truth, right? So, guys, this is how we are. If we say something, most likely that's what we mean. And I had to find out, that very, very quick. Women ask for honesty, but they're not willing to listen to the honesty. And I had to alter myself a little bit because now you're dealing with emotions. But I still have very, very serious, strong, and uncomfortable conversation with my wife. And she does the same thing. Why? Because I believe that can strengthen a relationship. So when we decide to actually keep it to ourselves, we don't share, we don't talk about it, we just keep it there, then eventually, if everything being swept under the rug, the relationship won't last because communication is truly key. Now, I'm speaking on this. Hopefully, I never get divorced. But like I said, I'm not ignorant to the fact that stuff happen in life. That makes sense? But my wife knows I love her to death. I love my kids. I cannot imagine me outside of my kids' life, but I'm not ignorant as a young man to think this is forever, because somebody once says everything great has an end. So I'm hoping the end is like me passing away or, in my marriage. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I would love to hear your comments. See your comment below. We're going to wrap this up. It's been over an hour. So once again, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for elaborating on the subject. I look forward to talk more on these matters. And, Khalil and Julia, Vanessa, they're actually going to be in the show one-on-one because Khalil run a business. Julia run a business. Vanessa is a travel nurse, which I would love to have a conversation with her. But anyway, they're going to come back in the show in a more business professional way. But at least now you know where they stand when it comes to relationship. So with that being said, have a beautiful evening. God bless you guys. Good night.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Bye-bye, guys.